Welcome to Missing Persons Archives, a channel dedicated to sharing real stories of those who vanished without a trace. Here we explore the facts, the timelines, the investigations, and the unanswered questions behind each disappearance. These are more than cases. They are people, and every story deserves to be told. Subscribe and join us as we shine a light on the missing. Fame doesn't make you invincible. In fact, sometimes it brings even deeper mystery when someone famous disappears. These are people with resources, recognition, and reach, but when they vanish, the questions echo louder than ever. Today on Missing Persons Archives, we're exploring the lives and disappearances of 5 well-known individuals who vanished without a trace. These aren't ordinary missing persons cases. These are stories where notoriety collides with the unknown, leaving only silence in their wake. Barbara Newhall Follett. In the winter of 1932, Barbara Newhall stared out her bedroom window, imagining life beyond the woods behind her house. By the age of 12, she had published her first novel, The House Without Windows, a lyrical, nature-infused story shaped by her daydreams and brilliant imagination. Critics praised the book, hailing Barbara as a child prodigy and a literary force in the making. Some, however, couldn't handle her success, questioning what price she might pay for such early fame. Barbara was unconcerned with critics. She embraced her gift, expressing that a normal life never appealed to her. As a teen, she remained a loner, preferring her own adventures and writings over the social world of children her age. At 14, she published her second novel, The Voyage of Normandy. Around this time, her life took a dramatic turn. Her father abandoned the family for a younger woman. Barbara and her mother coped by leaving her younger sister behind and traveling the world by sea, chronicling their adventures. Eventually, they returned to New York, broke. Barbara took a job as a secretary, an experience that left her deeply unhappy. Her creative spark dimmed without her father's encouragement. She married Nickerson Rogers in 1934, and for a while, they traveled and enjoyed life together. But by 1939, their marriage was falling apart. On December 7th of that year, after an argument, Barbara left their apartment on foot with $30, a notebook, and the clothes on her back. She was never seen again. Rogers waited 2 weeks before reporting her missing and did so under her married name, Barbara Rogers. Because of this, the media never realized the missing woman was the once famous literary prodigy. Her disappearance remained a secret until 1966, when her mother published a memoir revealing Barbara's fate. Her father, who she had never reconciled with, later wrote a heartfelt letter published in The Atlantic, pleading for her to come home and assuring her that all would be forgiven. But no one ever heard from her again. There were no leads, no sightings, and no evidence. Barbara Newhall Follett had vanished without a trace. Michael Rockefeller. Michael Rockefeller, son of New York Governor Nelson Rockefeller, was just 23 when he disappeared in the jungles of New Guinea in 1961. He had recently developed a fascination with art and photography, and during a trip to study the Asmat tribes, a group known for their traditional art and rituals, his boat capsized. Witnesses claimed they saw Michael swimming toward shore, but no one ever saw him again. Despite an exhaustive 2-week search and his family's vast resources, his body was never recovered. Officially, his death was attributed to drowning, but no one had seen him drown, and he was known to be a strong swimmer. Over the years, theories swirled. Some claimed he was eaten by sharks, others believed he may have gone native, voluntarily disappearing into the jungle. The most disturbing theory is that he fell victim to a ritualistic killing by the cannibalistic Asmat tribe, though there's no solid evidence of this. What is known is that Michael was well liked by the tribespeople and respected their culture. No ransom was ever demanded. No belongings were ever found. Just like that, one of the most privileged young men in America disappeared into one of the most remote places on Earth and was never seen again. Theodosia Burr Alston. Theodosia Burr Alston, daughter of the infamous Aaron Burr, the man who killed Alexander Hamilton in a duel, lived a life of privilege and political connection. On December 31st, 1812, she boarded the schooner Patriot in Georgetown, South Carolina, bound for New York to reunite with her father, but the ship never arrived. Aaron Burr believed she perished in a shipwreck, but many speculate pirates may have attacked the vessel. There were rumors, decades later, that a woman matching her description had been taken captive, yet nothing was confirmed. No wreckage was found, no passenger list recovered, just silence. To this day, the fate of the Patriot and its passengers remains one of America's oldest and most tantalizing maritime mysteries, and Theodosia Burr Alston's final chapter was never written. Connie Converse. Elizabeth Connie Converse was one of the earliest singer-songwriters of the modern era. She recorded heartfelt, introspective music in the 1950s, ahead of her time. Born in New Hampshire, she left home to pursue music in New York. She performed sparsely and struggled with recognition. In 1974, shortly after turning 50, Connie sent goodbye letters to friends and family. She packed her belongings into her Volkswagen Beetle and vanished. Her disappearance was quiet, just like her career had been. Her brother believes she took her own life, but there's no concrete evidence. Years after her vanishing, her music resurfaced, gaining cult status. Listeners found a deep emotional resonance in her lyrics and melodies. Her voice, once lost to time, is now treasured, yet the woman behind it remains missing. Bison Deal. Born Brian Williams, Bison Deal was a celebrated NBA player who won a championship with the Chicago Bulls in 1997. In the prime of his career, he walked away from basketball at age 30, choosing a life of global adventure instead. He traveled widely across Asia and the Middle East, embracing a life of exploration. In the wake of September 11th, Bison convinced his girlfriend, Serena Carlin, to leave the chaos behind. They set sail on his yacht, Hakuna Matata, eventually traveling to New Zealand. There they reconnected with Bison's estranged brother, Miles DeBoard. The brothers had a strained relationship and often argued. In May 2002, the yacht set sail with Bison, Serena, Miles, the captain Bertrand Saldo, and crew member Mark Benson. Tensions escalated on board, and Benson disembarked during an island stop. In early July, the rest of the group continued their voyage. On July 8th, Serena called Bison's manager saying they were having a great time. It was the last time anyone heard from her, Bison, or the captain. When the group stopped making contact, families grew concerned. A man claiming to be Bison tried purchasing $150,000 worth of gold coins. He was caught in a sting. It was Miles DeBoard using Bison's ID and checkbook. Miles told police Bison was alive, but when investigators tried to follow up, they found no trace of Bison, Serena, or Bertrand. Miles eventually slipped into a diabetic coma and died in Mexico after an apparent insulin overdose. The yacht was never found. The FBI believes Miles murdered everyone on board and dumped their bodies into the ocean. But with no remains and no confessions, the truth remains locked beneath the waves. From literary prodigies and vice presidential daughters to reclusive musicians and championship athletes, these 5 individuals were brilliant, creative, and well-known, yet they vanished without a trace. Their stories remind us that even those in the public eye can disappear into mystery. Thank you for joining us for this episode of Missing Persons Archives. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share to help bring more attention to stories like these. And if you have any theories or thoughts about these cases, drop them in the comments below. Until next time, stay safe, stay curious, and never forget the missing.